Have you ever pondered what happens to your body, your mind, and your spirit when you stop engaging in one of life's most natural, personal, and powerful acts? Masturbation during your golden years. Many seniors grow up in a culture where sexual expression, especially in solitude, was whispered about, frowned upon, or outright shamed. And so, as time passes, the habit often quietly disappears, pushed aside by health changes, societal beliefs, or a simple sense of disconnection from the self. But here's the truth that few doctors will tell you openly. The absence of self-connection after 60 can slowly harm more than just your libido. It can affect your entire well-being. This isn't about lust, it's about life. About circulation, hormones, sleep, confidence, prostate, health, emotional grounding, and, yes, about dignity and aging. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoyed this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. The body responds to what it... No, the body responds to. What it no longer receives as we grow older. Many functions in the body slow down, not just because of age, but because of inactivity. Just like muscles shrink without exercise and joints stiffen without movement, the sexual organs respond the same way. When masturbation stops completely, the blood flow to the pelvic area reduces significantly. This reduced circulation can lead to discomfort, lowered sensitivity, and for men, an increased risk of prostate problems. The tissues that once responded easily to stimulation begin to atrophy, becoming less elastic, less responsive, and sometimes even painful for women. Vaginal dryness, irritation, or a general sense of disconnection from one's body may increase. What's most surprising to many seniors is how quickly these physical changes can occur within a few months. Of no sexual stimulation, the body can begin to forget what it once knew so well. And unlike youth, it takes longer to restore what's been lost. Regular masturbation, even once or twice a week, helps maintain elasticity, sensitivity, and overall pelvic health. It's a form of self-care that prevents stagnation, discomfort, and future complications. This isn't about chasing desire or forcing what no longer feels natural. It's about maintaining function, preventing unnecessary pain, and preserving a vital part of your body's design. You wouldn't stop brushing your teeth just because you're aging. Why neglect another essential part of your health? But the body is only one part of the equation. What happens emotionally when you no longer feel connected to your own pleasure? That's where things become even more personal and powerful. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me now. Let's move on to point number 2. 2. The emotional toll. The emotional toll of disconnection. When seniors stop masturbating, it's not just a physical shift, it becomes an emotional and psychological one too. Over time, many older adults begin to feel detached from their own bodies, as though they are simply caretakers of a vessel rather than living in it. This emotional disconnect can manifest quietly. At first, a lack of interest in one's appearance, a diminished sense of self-worth, or even a subtle feeling of being invisible. What was once a source of comfort, release, and joy becomes something avoided or forgotten. Masturbation, while deeply personal, is also deeply affirming. It reminds you that your body still belongs to you, that you're still capable of feeling, of choosing, of engaging in something that is purely for your own pleasure for many older adults. This simple act restores a sense of agency and identity that often fades with age. It's not just about sexual gratification, it's about emotional grounding, self-confidence, and connection to your inner life. Without this private ritual, loneliness can deepen, anxiety can quietly grow, a sense of emotional flatness may replace the vibrant inner world you once knew for some. This can even impact how they interact with others. Less warmth, less openness, less joy. But there is a powerful truth many don't realize until it's nearly gone. When you stop connecting with yourself intimately, you may slowly begin to disconnect from the world around you. And as you'll soon discover, this emotional distance doesn't just stay in the heart, it reaches the organs too, especially one vital gland that few talk about until it's too late. 3. Prostate health depends on prostate health. Depends on activity. Activity for older men, few things are as quietly essential to long-term health as the prostate. This small gland plays a major role in both sexual and urinary function, yet it's often ignored until problems begin to surface. What many don't realize is that regular ejaculation through either intimacy or masturbation is not just pleasurable. It's also protective. When a man stops masturbating entirely, the prostate may begin to stagnate. Fluids can build up and lead to a condition known as prostate congestion, which brings discomfort, pressure, and even a higher risk of inflammation or infection. Over time, ejaculation helps keep the prostate active, clears out old fluids, and stimulates blood flow to the region. Without it, the gland may become more prone to enlargement, known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, which can interfere with urination and lead to frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom, or even the need for medical intervention. This isn't just theory, it's backed by decades of medical observation. Maintaining sexual activity, even privately, can help the prostate stay healthy and responsive. Ignoring this aspect of care isn't a sign of modesty, it's a missed opportunity for prevention. You don't need to rely on medications or surgery as your first line of defense. Something as simple as regular self-pleasure can serve as a proactive, natural method to protect this vital part of your body. But the benefits of masturbation in old age go even deeper than organ health. What if we told you this small act also impacts your brain? Chemistry, shaping how you sleep, how you feel, and even how clearly you think each day. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now, let's keep going with point number 4 for hormonal balance and brain. Hormonal balance and brain chemistry. One of the most overlooked benefits of masturbation in older adults is its direct impact on hormonal balance and brain chemistry. When you stimulate your body and reach orgasm, your brain releases a cascade of natural chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and prolactin. These aren't just feel-good hormones, they regulate your mood, improve your sleep, ease anxiety, and even support immune function in a stage of life where insomnia, depression, and stress are more common. These natural responses become powerful tools for overall wellness. Dopamine helps you feel motivated and emotionally engaged. Oxytocin fosters a sense of calm and connection, even when you're alone. Endorphins reduce pain and bring clarity. Prolactin supports restful sleep and cellular recovery. All of this happens from a private, simple act that requires no prescription, no insurance approval, and no doctor's visit. The absence of this hormonal activity can lead to a slow decline in emotional well-being without it. You might feel more anxious, more irritable, or emotionally numb. Sleep becomes harder, stress lingers longer, and over time, this imbalance can silently affect your memory, focus, and even your physical resilience. Masturbation isn't just about pleasure. It's about internal chemistry. It's about giving your brain the signals it needs to keep you feeling grounded, relaxed, and alive. And if your mind benefits from regular release, what about the part of you that most people forget to touch your own sense of comfort and dignity through the power of physical presence and touch? That's where we go next. 5. Touch is a basic human need. Touch is a basic human need, even when it comes from yourself. Even when it comes from yourself as we age, Touch often becomes something we receive less and less of. Hugs become rare, intimacy may fade, and in many cases, people begin to avoid their own bodies altogether. This absence of touch, even self-touch, can create a deep emotional void, one that affects not only mental health but physical well-being. Masturbation, in its simplest form, is a way of staying connected to your body. It's a form of nurturing, reminding yourself that you are still alive, still deserving of comfort, still capable of feeling. Many older adults unconsciously begin treating their bodies like fragile machines to be maintained rather than homes to be cherished. They go through routines, bathing, dressing, taking pills, without ever truly acknowledging their physical self. With warmth or kindness, over time, this disconnect can lead to a sense of emotional numbness or alienation from the very body that has carried them through life. Self-touch changes that it invites you to slow down, to listen, to feel, not out of obligation, but out of care. Masturbation becomes more than seethal. It becomes meditative, a way to affirm I am still here, I still matter, I still belong to myself. This act of reclaiming touch can restore confidence and soothe the loneliness that sometimes creeps in with age, and as powerful as this personal connection can be, there's another often unspoken benefit to masturbation in old age. It helps you maintain a sense of intimacy and control, even when partnerships change or disappear. Let's talk about that. Next, 6. Intimacy doesn't end when intimacy doesn't end, when partnerships do. Partnerships do. As we grow older, relationships evolve. Some lose a partner to illness or time, while others may face emotional distance in long-term marriages. Still others may live alone, navigating retirement and aging. Without the consistent presence of a companion, in these moments, many begin to believe that intimacy, once vibrant and alive, is simply over. But true intimacy doesn't require a partner. It begins with you. Masturbation allows older adults to maintain a relationship with their own desire, their own tenderness, and their own emotional world. No matter their relationship status, far from being a replacement for a partner. Self. Intimacy is a form of independence. It's an act of reclaiming closeness on your terms. It sends a message to your spirit that your ability to feel pleasure, comfort, and closeness didn't leave with another person. It still lives within you. This kind of private connection is especially important when physical or emotional closeness with others isn't possible. It helps maintain a sense of emotional equilibrium and personal agency. It reduces the loneliness that can creep in during long, quiet evenings, and most importantly, it reminds you that you are still a complete feeling, human being capable of joy and softness, even without a partner beside you. And while this emotional strength is deeply healing, many seniors still carry unnecessary guilt or shame around the subject. It's time to face that outdated burden head-on, because the damage it causes runs deeper than most realize. What happens when we replace that shame with self-acceptance? The answer might just transform the way the shame must be left behind. Age 7, the shame must be left behind. Many older adults grew up in a time when seethlity, especially self-pleasure, was wrapped in silence, judgment, and shame. Messages from family, religion, and society often made masturbation seem like something dirty, sinful, or inappropriate, especially with age. Over time, these beliefs became internalized, quietly shaping how seniors feel about their own bodies. But here's the truth, that shame doesn't belong to you anymore. It was inherited, and you have every right to let it go. Masturbation is not a sign of weakness or moral failure. It is a normal, healthy, and even therapeutic part of the human experience. Letting go of the shame that has followed you for decades is one of the most liberating acts you can give yourself in later life. When you stop viewing self-pleasure as something wrong, you begin to reclaim control over your physical and emotional well-being. What replaces shame is not just acceptance, but confidence, peace, relief when you understand that your body still deserves care, pleasure, and attention. You begin to treat yourself differently. You walk with more dignity. You sleep more soundly. You live more freely by removing the weight of shame. You also make space for self-care. And there's no better way to begin caring for yourself than by understanding how to do it safely, comfortably, and with intention. That's why the next part is so important. It's not just about why, but how to do it in a way that supports your health and brings you peace. 8 practical tips for safe, healthy self-intimacy. Practical tips for safe, healthy self-intimacy for older adults. Masturbation should be approached the same way. You would approach any part of self-care with patience, respect, and comfort. Your body has changed over the years, and that's completely natural. What worked or felt good decades ago may not be the same today, and that's okay. The goal now is not performance, it's presence. To begin, choose a quiet, private space where you feel relaxed. Give yourself permission to explore without pressure. You don't need to rush. Let this time be yours without distraction or judgment. Using lubrication can make a significant difference, especially for older skin. Or if dryness has become an issue, lubricants reduce friction, prevent irritation, and can actually enhance sensation. You can experiment with different types until you find one that suits your needs. For men, take time with stimulation. There's no need to aim for a specific outcome for women. Gentle touch and awareness of sensitive areas can reconnect you with forgotten sensations. It's also helpful to focus on how your body feels before, during, and after. Do you feel more relaxed, calmer, more connected to yourself? These are signs that your practice is working, not just physically but emotionally, too. Self-intimacy is not something to feel embarrassed about. It is a form of quiet strength and self-awareness. As with any health practice, consistency matters more than intensity. Gentle, regular self. Connection can support your mood, circulation, sleep, and sense of personal empowerment. And now that you know how to do it in a healthy, respectful way, what happens if you choose to continue ignoring this part of your health? The long-term risks may surprise you. A final word. A final word. The most personal act of self-care. Personal act of self-care as you stand at this stage of life with all its richness, wisdom, and reflection. You've likely come to understand something essential. Aging is not about decline. It's about rediscovery. You are not fading, you are evolving. And one of the most intimate, often overlooked parts of that evolution is the relationship you have with your own body. For many older adults, the idea of masturbation may still carry the weight of shame, embarrassment, or a sense that it no longer belongs in this chapter of life. But what if it does? What if, in fact, now is the most important time to reconnect with this part of yourself? Not for others, not for performance, but for healing, for presence, and for peace. Your body, though different from decades past, still belongs to you. It still responds to care. It still reacts to kindness. It still thrives on attention. Touch in any form is a human need. And when that touch comes from you, it is not just physical, it is spiritual, it is emotional. It says to your heart, you are still here, you still matter. Masturbation at this stage of life is not a shameful act. It is one of the most profound acts of self-care available to you. It helps maintain circulation, supports prostate and pelvic health, balances mood and hormones, eases loneliness, improves sleep, and reminds you that you are not disconnected from your desires or identity. Even in solitude, you can feel alive, powerful, and whole. If no one ever told you this before, hear it. Now, you do not need permission to be close to yourself. You do not need to apologize for being human. You do not need to carry outdated beliefs that silence your needs or dismiss your body's truths. You deserve to feel. You deserve to rest without emptiness. You deserve to look in the mirror and see someone who is still worth touching, still worth loving, still worth being. The world often forgets the power of quiet rituals, of closing the door, breathing deeply, and giving yourself what no one else can. But in that moment, when the world slows and you return to yourself, you may find something sacred, a reconnection, a softening, a spark. So as you move forward, carry this truth with you. Masturbation is not something to be hidden from or judged or dismissed with age. It is your right, your private joy, your reminder that you are not just existing, but living fully, deeply, and unapologetically. Your journey is not over. Your body is still listening. And every time you choose to honor it, with care, with kindness, with presence, you are choosing to live on your own terms. And that, in the end, is the most dignified act of all. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. Like this, thank you for watching. And here's to living life on your own terms.